Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. For many weeks, we've been hearing the outlines of a story about Joe Biden. Hard to know what to believe in the late stages of a presidential campaign. But now we know. We have now heard at length on camera from one of the Biden family's former business partners. He's a successful businessman, very successful businessman, and a Navy veteran. His name is Toni Bobulinski. Bobulinski spoke for a full hour last night on this show. He told us, and this is the crux of what he said, how he met two separate times with Joe Biden himself, not just with his son or his brother, but with Joe Biden, the former vice president, the man now running for president, to discuss business deals with the Communist government of China. That's a very serious claim, and whatever your political views, it is hard to dismiss it when Toni Bobulinski makes it, because Bobulinski is an unusually credible witness. He is not a partisan, he's not seeking money, he's not seeking publicity. Just the opposite. He did not want to come on our show. But when Adam Schiff and the Joe Biden for President campaign accused Toni Bobulinski of participating in a Russian disinformation effort, he felt he had no choice. That was a slander against him and against his family. So Bobulinski came. He arrived with heaps of evidence to bolster the story he was telling. He brought contemporaneous audio recordings, text messages, emails, many financial documents. By the end of the hour, it was very clear to us that Toni Bobulinski was telling the truth, and that Joe Biden was lying. We believe that any honest person who watched the entire hour would come to the same conclusion. Well, today, a Senate committee confirmed it. The Senate reported this afternoon that all of Toni Bobulinski's documents are in fact real. They're authentic. They're not forgeries. This is not Russian disinformation. It is real. Tonight we have another recording for you from Toni Bobulinski, and we'll add that to the evidence pile. We'll play it for you in just a minute. But we can't help noticing that in a normal country, you probably already would have heard it. Bobulinski told a remarkable story. Joe Biden, who once again could be president of the United States next week, was planning business deals with America's most formidable global opponent. And when he was caught doing it, Joe Biden lied. And then he went further. He slandered an innocent man as a traitor to his own country. It is clear that Joe Biden did that. That's not a partisan talking point uttered in bad faith on behalf of another presidential campaign. It's true. So the question is, what is Joe Biden's excuse for doing that? What is his version of the story? Everyone has a version, and we'd like to hear it. But we don't know what Joe Biden's version of the story is, because no one in America's vast media landscape has pressed Joe Biden to answer the question. Instead, reporters at all levels, and their editors and their publishers, have openly collaborated with Joe Biden's political campaign. That is unprecedented. It has never happened in American history. This morning, the big papers completely ignored what Toni Bobulinski had to say. So did the other television networks. Not a single word about Bobulinski appeared on CNN or anywhere else. Newsweek decided to cover it, but came to the conclusion that the real story was about QAnon somehow. This is Soviet-style suppression of information of a legitimate news story days before an election. The ramifications of it are impossible to imagine, but we do know the media cannot continue in the way that it has. No one believes the media anymore, and no one should. You should be offended by this, not because the media are liberal, but because this is an attack on our democracy. You've heard that phrase again and again. This is what it actually looks like. In a self-governing country, voters have a right to know, an obligation to know, who they're voting for. In this case, they have the right to know that the Democratic nominee for president was a willing partner in his family's lucrative influencing peddling operation, an operation that went on for decades and stretched from China and Ukraine all the way to Oman, Romania, Luxembourg, and many other countries. This is not speculation, once again, and it's not a partisan attack. It's true, and Toni Bobulinski confirmed it.